Well, this is what working from home looks like. And just doing the best I can, given the circumstances and the situation. Nobody is perfect, and I've accepted the shortcomings and misfortunes of my family members. But I've come to realize that I was, with the exception of some very close family friends, um, who were able to help us out here and there. I was, for the most part, the sole and primary caregiver for my father for many, many years, and it was very difficult. We struggled a lot, and now that I have more time to work, I'm hoping that things will be a little bit better in my life. It was a very painful experience for my father to suffer for so long, and for me to pretty much feel helpless over the cancer that ravaged his body. And he had squamous cell carcinoma removed. There was a whole summer there with a wound vac. I tried to make the best of it, making silly YouTube videos and trying to entertain the atmosphere here as best as possible, especially during a pandemic when we were really homebound, and the thought of me actually going anywhere, even with him or by myself, was just out of the question. He had such a fragile immune system. So it's extremely lonely without my father. I was very, very close with my dad, and I've been reading a lot of his notes and looking through his a lot of little things that he left, a lot of like little video messages and notes and recordings and things like that. And it was just very sad what happened to my brother. We both tried to help my brother a lot, and he had some very unfortunate things happen to him, and got caught up in the legal system, and it was very costly for our family, and very embarrassing and really shameful. And I hope that he gets the help he needs, and he understands that the decisions he made in his life really adversely affected my father, because my father loved him unconditionally, and he doesn't even realize how much he cost my dad, and he kind of blames my dad for his problems. And it's unfortunate. It's the situation that we're in now, and I just hope that he gets his music career together, goes to Miami, and pursues other avenues, because there's a big responsibility that I have now to honor my father's legacy, and to to keep everything here, as it were, so to speak, as an art gallery, and begin growing the business. So I'm still grieving. It's been exactly 30 days since my dad passed away, and he had a lot of regret that he wasn't able to afford to build some of the bigger sculptures he wanted to do, and that we didn't have time to go into his studio to finish some of his paintings. And unfortunately, it was very upsetting for my dad that my brother refused to move a lot of stuff that he's keeping in storage where my dad made his paintings. And my dad always felt like his studio was being hijacked by my brother, and my brother's kind of down on his luck and didn't want to just go pay for a storage place, and we couldn't either. And I kept having car problems, my father and I, and we needed to rent a car frequently. So as you can see in a lot of my earlier videos, I was kind of pretending I'm test driving these new rental cars, because we didn't have time to even go look to buy a new car. I had to constantly go back and forth to the hospital, and our both our cars kept breaking down. And I grew up with my dad fixing cars, so we always got like used cars and fix them up. And as he got more sick, he wasn't able to do that. And I'm not extremely mechanically inclined, but I want to say special thanks to Pete Schwartzot for helping us all these years. really means a lot to us, to me, that you helped us with the cars and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, so basically, this is what it's like working from home. And right now, unfortunately, there are some legal matters that are very upsetting to me, and I'm just making a vlog here of my life, and just trying to note this for the future, just like my dad did. He made a lot of videos, which I'll be uploading periodically. A lot of cool little notes and messages, and he really wanted my brother and I to get along. He really wanted me to be in a position to be able to help him. That's why he left me the whole house and all the artwork, the entire estate in my name. It wasn't to spite my brother, it was because he knew that someday my brother might get in trouble again, and like he kept doing while my father was sick, asking us for money to fix his car or whatever, I'd be in a better position to do that. But unfortunately, his behavior is it's very difficult. It's a difficult person for my wife and I to get along with, let alone a lot of other people that he interacts with. So I hope that he gets the help he needs. I hope that the VA Association, he's a veteran and he has PTSD, he was a paratrooper. I hope he can get the help he needs. So, this is what's been going on here in my life. Please go to Bafi Studio Fine Art Gallery and order a print from us. It will help honor my father's legacy, and your purchase really goes a long way. It's www.bernardbafi.net. Um, what else? Yeah. So I'm very interested in growing this business, and I do need some help with managing some of the advertising and marketing and data entry and that sort of thing. I can offer a commission, but right now we're really in the growth phase. We're trying to get sales, and yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. Um, for those of you who don't know, my father had ulcerative colitis, and he required hospitalizations going way back into the 70s, where that he was unable to walk for weeks at a time. And he always felt that the world didn't know who he was, or how important an artist he was. And he was absolutely right. He made a lot of movies that have never been seen that I have. They're in these steel uh, canisters. It's actual 9 millimeter film that he made. And they're called photoplays, and another one's called Babyface. And it's about me and my childhood cancer, and what that was like for my parents, and how it transformed him as an artist. He made this painting over here called Memorist about the demon that was going to try to take me away as a baby. And a lot of his artwork was influenced by biology. And my mother's father, my grandfather, was a scientist. He had a PhD in pharmacology, and as well as medicine, and he was a scientist. He had 4 PhDs actually: chemistry, pharmacology, medicine, and philosophy. He was born in 1900, and lived in India for 12 years, and it was just amazing going back and forth to Germany to the library. And when my dad lived in Germany, I think that had a profound effect on him as well, being exposed to that. But a lot of people judge my father's artwork in that he's not famous, or that he didn't have these big shows, despite having hung out with some famous people and people that we've met over the years. It never really was something he was able to focus on because he was so sick. And to network and socialize, you got to be able to hang out and be on the scene and that sort of thing. There was no internet back then, and he basically was on disability, and back in, I believe, '89, I was about 14 or so, he had to have surgery. So he had an ostomy. He had his lower portion of his colon and his rectum removed. So it was very painful, a very traumatic experience. I thought my dad was going to die when I was 14, and he was on a lot of steroids. So it caused him to yell a lot, specifically at my younger brother. And my younger brother was very angry at my dad for that, and isn't able to let it go. But I came to understand that my dad was very sick, and I did understand him as an artist. I did know how amazing he was, and I tried my best while being a full-time caregiver and his nurse to take care of him. And it was difficult because the cancer kept coming back, and they initially didn't have the stem cell transplant and the immunotherapy that he got, which prolonged his life. So the methotrexate and the chemo, later in life, it damaged his DNA so badly that they could no longer give him the immunotherapy, which was saving his life. He developed MDS, which is called myelodysplastic syndrome, where your body doesn't make enough red blood cells. The DNA inside the bone marrow is damaged. So he needed transfusions, and we didn't know that it was going to be only 6 months he had to live. We thought it was going to be 3 to 5 because he was going for walks, and then death came on really suddenly. And there was a lot of times, there was a lot of midnight trips from the ambulance and the hospital, a lot of hospitalizations where I thought I was going to lose my dad. It's a very overwhelming experience for both of us. And I'm sure he's not suffering anymore now. And hopefully he's in the same place my mom is together. And along with some of my dear friends as well that have lost to cancer. It's such a horrible disease, and I would love nothing more than to make billions and billions of dollars and donate it to cancer research and funding green energy to stop pollution, which causes cancer. It's not genetically inherited in me. I got a DNA test just to be sure. Pollution is what caused it in my family. Pollution from the city, perhaps being around a lot of art supplies and that sort of thing. Um, so I love it up here in the country. It's nice. I feel blessed that I can work from home, and just really need all the support I can get. Please subscribe. Click like and subscribe. I'm just trying to document my life, and at times I'd like to make other people laugh. I'd like folks to think, oh, look, what's Ollie doing now, or what does Ollie think you should do? You know, I'm looking for a web designer to help me. I have this whole cartoon kind of thing I'd like to put on my website, but I have so little time to actually focus on my art, and I haven't had much time to focus on my art as I would like to, and it was just really sad that my father and I didn't get a chance to collaborate as much as we wanted to. I've always helped him with so many different things, sculptures and that sort of thing. But he kept telling me, "Ollie, draw from real life," because I still couldn't understand how he made such beautiful paintings, beautiful artwork. He said, "Well, you got to draw from real life. You got to keep doing that." So to honor my dad's legacy, I'm going to be doing that as often as I can when I get some free time. But right now, I'm just really focused on working and trying to pick up all the pieces. A lot of folks pass judgment on my father, and being artists, you know, it's sort of like you buck the system. And both my parents, they struggled, and they didn't want to be like in the corporate world, and they ended up becoming teachers because they couldn't figure out how to actually sell their artwork. Which is something entirely different from making artwork. And if you're sick, like my dad was, the only thing you feel you want to do is make artwork. It's that you feel like you're responsible to your gift. So it was difficult, you know, to raise a family and you know, have these jobs that they had, and yet he still made a lot of artwork. He made a lot of great artwork. But it was unfair that he didn't have the recognition he deserved. He should have gotten some more grants and funding to do some of these big, large-scale sculptures that he had been wanting to do for a very long time. And so that's heartbreaking. And I feel a responsibility towards my father to honor that legacy. Um, so yeah, so that's a day in the life of Ollie. Thank you kindly for your support. Stay safe.